All right. So we're recording. We're live. This is another episode, I guess we'd call it, of Worker to Worker. And I'm here again. You're stuck with me, unfortunately, until someone else decides they want to do one. Which, by all means, if you do, if anybody wants to do one, I'll help set it up. And it can be anybody but me and somebody else. But today you're stuck with me. But I'm lucky to have a special guest, Gabrielle, from the International, what's up, Longshoremen and Warehouse Union out of Oakland.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so we're based in San Francisco, but we work in San Francisco, Oakland. The majority of our work is in Oakland, but we work all across the Bay Area, Benicia, Richmond, Crockett. Yeah, wherever there's a port close by, Redwood City, we're there.
Awesome, dude. So again, just for those who don't remember or might be here for the first time, I'm Eric. I'm from the UFCW. I'm in Local 8 up in Northern California. I work for Safeway Albertsons. And this is Worker to Worker. It's just rank and file people who happen to get connected in weird ways, having conversations across locals, across companies, across industries, states. So far, we've talked to a UFCW member in Southern California and a Teamster in Colorado. Now we're talking to an International Longshore and Warehouse Union worker, ILWU, member out of Oakland, because it's important for rank and file members, workers across the country, including non-unionized workers, to hear what it's like out there in the working world and to kind of have these conversations and bring light to the fact that I don't think it matters where you are in the country right now. If you're a working person, you probably have a lot of common struggle with other working people across the country. I think there's a lot of effort and energy that gets put into things that divide us. And if we all just take a moment to recognize that we have this struggle in common, that we're out there putting in our hard work and our labor, and what we're getting in return for that is not a living wage, is not a fair shake in this society. I think we have a lot to gain in uniting and drawing connections across those boundaries. And so I'm excited to get to meet you and kind of talk to you about what it's like to be working. First of all, why don't you kind of let people know how it is that we even met each other?
Okay, so we went to a Teamsters educational conference in Stockton. What was that, like 2 weekends ago? It was on a Sunday morning. You know, we like to learn over here and get filled up and unionize, So we went to gain some more knowledge about how people choose to educate their membership, how the Teamsters choose to educate their membership. Met a whole bunch of Teamsters. There were some other ILW people. There were people from all across the board from the Bay Area. And actually, there was somebody from LA as well that worked with the Teamsters down there. But we went to educate ourselves, and I ended up sitting at a great table with some great UFCW people, and I just got blown away about their involvement in their union, with not even being elected union officials or delegates. They came on their own accord to get filled up and found out that they're trying to inoculate their membership the best way that they can, with leaflets, with podcasts like this, with choosing to take their time to bring other members together to attend membership meetings, whether it takes 1 hour, 2 hours, the entire day. So like I told Eric before, when I first met him that Sunday, I completely commend him and his other rank and file members for doing what it is that they chose to do. Even this right here is just beyond amazing that you're choosing to step up this way for the working class.
I appreciate you saying that, because it's very thankless. It comes, and you know this, that like Especially if you, and for those of you that are listening that are a part of At What Cost, which is what we kind of call our UFCW reform group. So, we hang out with the Essential Workers for Democracy, which is working to connect UFCW workers across the entire country to move towards this new organizing model within our union that gives member power throughout the entire leadership structure, all the way up to the executive board, and especially bargaining and negotiating, which, in my local, 0 members on the e-board, 0 members on the bargaining committee, 0 visibility into negotiations. So that's one end of the spectrum. And luckily for us, there's UFCW locals, 5 of them specifically, that have gone through reform and have leaned into this model and are shining examples that we have to look to see what's possible. So it took finding them first to even know that there was a path out of this. But then you're right, like to get 0 support, official support out of our UFCW local staff, it's been entirely on us to make connections, do the networking, find the people. I mean, for us to get invited to that TDU conference, that took connecting with the truck drivers that deliver to our stores every day, and making those connections, and then building that solidarity, talking about the union stuff that we're working on all the time. They love to share. Teamsters love to share grievances. Teamsters love to share when they win against management. Like, if you ever want to get your union tank filled, just ask a Teamster the last time they fucked up a boss, and they'll tell you they love it, dude. They got pictures on their phone. They're like, oh dude, look at this, we did this, we got them this way. And you saw it in that conference, the Teamster pride and Teamster solidarity. It's you feel it in the air. Those people are proud of their union. And so I love, just when they come and deliver, I'm just Teamster power, baby. And I work in the back room, so I get the luxury of interacting with them on a daily basis. But anyways, long story short, connecting with them, when TDU came over, they reached out and asked if we would like to come down. And so 4 of us, I think actually one of us couldn't make it, but 4 of us ended up coming down there, and it was an awesome experience. And dude, we were so stoked when we heard that there was going to be ILWU members out there, because it was oh dude, this is the intention. This is the powers, get these unions all together.
Yep.
I'm sure you learned stuff that that you can take back to your union, not just content wise from the classroom, but just the idea of education, the educating format, and how teaching everybody that's willing to learn in the union, how powerful that makes it. Can you speak on some of the stuff there? I will say specifically, it's what's surprising to me, but what do you see as a difference? And maybe your union's like this, but mine is not. The difference in empowering the membership with knowledge versus holding the knowledge back.
Ooh-wee. Okay, so I'll start off with this disclaimer. So I am currently a casual that's a part of ILW Local 10 San Francisco, Oakland area. All my opinions are my own. I am not a delegate. I'm not representing ILW Local 10, just a worker there. I'm not officially in the union yet with being a casual. I am on my way. I'm actually currently in the process to become a partially registered member, so thank the Lord. The benefits will be coming. That's why we have unions. You get what I'm saying? That's why we have unions to support us as workers, so that the employer won't be cutting corners and keep all the money for themselves, and we're the ones that's making the money, So I will say this. Our local, I will say union period, but I'm going to speak from Local 10, San Francisco. So we have our educational committee. We have our Stewards Council. We have our e-board. We have our AALC, which is our African American Longshore Coalition. It's like the Black Caucus in a sense, in a way. And then what else do we have? We have our Young Workers Committee. We have our drill team. And I will say I am a part of, and we have our union meetings. I'm a part of all of those except for our executive board and our union meetings. Our executive board, it holds seats, I think about 20 seats, and those are elected members, rank and file members. Those position goes to those members when we have our elections yearly at the end of the year. We have December is the runoffs. And rank and file, once they become an A member, we have casuals. Bs are partially registered members, and then As, which are fully registered union members, local members, I should say. And after a year of them becoming an A, they can run for positions. They can run for president. They can run for executive board. They can run for caucus delegate. They can go for any elected official, secretary, treasurer, and this is locally, right? They can go for vice president. And I would say education wise, last year, I got in 2021. Last year, 2024, was my most involved year with my local. And I'll say I've been a part of the drill team. I think this is my third year now. I've been a part of the educational committee. There, I am secretary. So this is my second year with doing that. Steward Council, I've been a part of Steward Council with supporting, with making flyers and or just getting the membership together. The Young Workers Committee, I've been a part of that since inception. That was October of 2022. And I'm the secretary for that committee as well. And what else did I say? Yeah, so I would say, and I'm just a casual, right? So with that being said, with me being a casual, it shows a bit of the disparity with the education part, with the B's and the A's. They are, they get priority to job choices in our hall. So I'm the last. I'm at the bottom of the barrel, right? So I have a lot of time. I chose to spend my time with learning more about the union, reading our contract book, reading our safety code, where in Steward Council, that's what we do. We read our safety code, we read our contract document. We have like an automated system that reads it for us. And then sometimes we actually read it ourselves. Like we take turns and read exactly, read directly from the book. With our educational committee, with our workshops, we have probably about 7 of them a year. Steward Councils every month. But educational committee, the committee decides the topics that we want to actually speak on. So we just had one about dispatch. We have a dispatching hall to get the memberships to understand the flow and how dispatch works. Also, our dispatch hall history. We are the Local 10 is the ace of the ILW. When we had our general strike in 1934, we pulled away from the ILA. We fought for a hiring hall. 8-hour day, working day, living wage. I believe at the time, don't quote me, I'm still learning. So it was like, I think $1 raise or something like that at the time. But the thing is, like, they fought to end the shape up, meaning they wanted people to be able to fairly get a job without saying, hey, say I'm a boss and I want you as a worker, Eric. And because we know each other, I'm going to pick you. Right. No matter what it is that you have going on, I don't care if you're adequate to fill the job or not. Mm-hmm. You're my boy, so I'm going to pick you. So we decided to pull away from that at that time. That's what was going on. So Local 10, it started at Local 10 in San Francisco. So I'm extremely proud to be a part of that. And yeah, I would say our educational workshops have inoculated the membership with our history, with bringing in people that can speak about our benefits to let the membership know. Also, what's currently happening, say it's a caucus year, like we literally just had our Longshore caucus, it was all last week. Monday through Friday, and all the Longshore locals came from up and down the coast. Local 6 was there, Stockton was there. We had people from LA, Long Beach. We had people from Eureka. We had people, the clerks, the Local 34. It was just a ton of people there to come together to learn, and to get the information out about what's going on in our local. I know that was a lot, but yeah.
That's huge. I
So
mean, dude, for people
yeah,
in my area that are in my local, that's like that level of engagement doesn't exist. So we don't see that. We don't have that. There's no local. Our local coordinates bargaining with a couple other nearby locals, but there's no membership involved on our side of it, so we don't see visibility into that. What you're describing sounds a lot more like there's a coalition of UFCWs locals down in Southern California. They've actually like banded together and started what's called the Grocery Workers Rising campaign, and they're coordinating basically together all against all of the major grocery companies, Albertsons, Kroger, Stater Brothers, simultaneously. Rayleigh's is involved in that now too. And by banding together, basically they're saying like, hey, you can't break us apart. We're all going to push against you at the same time,
yes,
which coordinated bargaining and national bargaining have been huge pushes, especially for like a union like the UFCW that's got so many members. To be able to see like what the Teamsters did and got for the UPS drivers when they got their national contract, that's what like the idea, like the dream would be for the grocery workers would be for all of us to be able to go against Albertsons as one body or one group, not each individual local piece by piece by piece. And so shout out to the SoCal locals that are part of the Grocery Workers Rising campaign. Obviously getting to see you guys, online, social media, all that like pumps us up here. We know that we are with you in our contracts. Like what's going on right now is all of our grocery contracts are expired. We're an extension across the board on our contracts. So that sucks. And not having visibility into that process really sucks because we're kind of at the whims of what they come to us and tell us, which that's horrible. But we're getting through it. Again, shout out to the SoCal locals because a lot of the information that we get and then we see is from the fact that they're open and transparent about it. So that helps us out a lot. And just having to go out and do it ourselves. I mean, that's kind of the idea that we took as a group, was that we're tired of asking for this kind of stuff. We're tired of having to bang our heads against it. I mean, for our union, we only have quarterly meetings, so there's 4 meetings a year. They're in a central location. We talked about that when we met, but we've got to drive 2.5 hours to go to these meetings if you're coming from up here in NorCal. And the 2 meetings that we've attended so far have only lasted for 15 minutes before they tried to call the meeting. So we've dragged it out by asking them questions and, trying to get more information. The last meeting that we went to, we actually spent time going around stores and gathering from rank and file members like, hey, if you could go to this meeting, what would you ask them? And then we took those questions to them and just basically drug the meeting on asking them that stuff, because it's like, yo, if we're going to drive down here, like we're going to make it's going to last at least an hour, like, and we've asked them to put so that's just an informational meeting, right? There's no union business happening there. Nobody's voting on any proposals or anything. So they're just like reading off of an agenda, and we've asked them like, hey, can you just put this on Zoom or something so we don't have to make this trip? And they're like adamantly like, no, we cannot. We will not. And it's like, all right, cool. Then I guess, here's my family's address in case I get in a car accident on my drive home. I had to work this morning and I also work tomorrow morning. So like for me, and there's people that can't go because they're on night crew or whatever. There's people that obviously can't attend because they are working at that time. There's like we've talked about at the beginning of this, like trying to coordinate schedules is so difficult, especially when you get into retail, that it's impossible to have like a meeting time that everybody can attend. And some locals get around that by holding 2, so they have like a morning one and a night one. They get around it by putting it on Zoom or YouTube so that people can watch it after the fact. All kinds of different ways. They hold them monthly instead of quarterly, so that if you can't get to one, like it's only a month until the next one, not 3 months. But in our situation, it's not that way. So it's tough. It is what it is, but we're moving more towards it. We're getting more involved. Every meeting we've gone to, we've taken more members. We actually have a meeting we have 15 people that have confirmed to come with us. So The first meeting we went to, there was 5 of us, and we were the only 5 members there. No other members attended. Second meeting we went to, there was 9 of us. We were the only 9 members there. You fell. And then this meeting, hopefully, is your phone okay?
Yeah, my phone is okay. I have to prop you up somewhere else. My little sticky magnet came off, and I don't know where it is. Nowhere.
It's gone. And this meeting, if we get 15 people to go, like no joke, the room's going to be full. Like they're going to have to like pick a different spot, because next time we're going to come with like 20 people, like 15, like 50 people in our union of 21,000 or 24,000 people. 50 people couldn't come to this meeting because of the physical location it's in. So,
okay, wait, I have a quick question for you then. Do you guys have like a certain limit, a minimum limit in order to have the meetings? Like we have 150. We're supposed to have 150 at our union meetings. Do you guys have something like that in order to make a quorum? Yeah.
7.
Whoa.
So think about this, like, okay, so nobody's participating, right? Nobody's participating. So we have a group of people that, like, you know, there's probably like 15 people are coming to this meeting. So I'll say there's like somewhere between 10 and 20 people that are very heavily engaged. And beyond that, probably 50 to 80 people that are peripherally engaged, right? Like moving out on that bullseye, the organizing bullseye. And then everybody's a supporter for the most part. Nobody's, and I'm talking about for At What Cost, for the UFCW reform group, which, like, this is going to sound like threatening to current staff or whatever, to the current status quo. Like this is, I'll speak to this a little bit more too, but let me make this point. It wouldn't take very much of us to get involved to be able to impact positive change, because nobody's participating. So once we've got a quorum, once we get a big enough group, now here's the caveat. The staff is also dues paying members. So they've always had a little bit more people there than we have. So we're going to bring 15. Our assumption is there is going to be like 20 staff members there, which is fine, because what I do is I just get everybody's name. I go look them up on the LM2, and then we talk about how much UFCW salary was in that room and why they're not doing it for us. But that is what it is. So it wouldn't take very many people to get involved. But I made a comment about being threatening towards staff, and I want to like clarify something. And I talked about it in our last meeting. So if anybody's watching and wants to go look at that, you can. They're all time stamped out. But this isn't about any person. This isn't a criticism about any individual person. This is a criticism of a business union model. It's a service model that exists to hold on to money, to not reinvest it in your membership, to not build solidarity and engagement from your membership. And it's the opposite of an organizing model. So when I'm criticizing what's going on, the staff tends to take it very personally and very personally threatening. And so I just want to like clarify that just let go of that model and everything will be fine. Like if you personally are attached to that model and you believe in it, then we'll have a debate of ideas, and the members will decide what they want for their union in the only way they can, which is our local election. So we don't have a voice in very many places, but we do have 3-year local elections. And so the conversation is turning to now is, if staff doesn't want to move in this direction, what do we do to put ourselves into that room? And that's run a slate or get involved in the local election. So that's what we can do. But when you do that, you're not rank and file anymore. You ascend into the higher echelon. Your old job goes away, and your new job is with the union. So that's not how it is. Like in Local 3000, for example, up in Seattle, their e-board, they have in their bylaws, they've written in that their executive board can only have 5 staff members. Everybody else has got to be rank and file elected. And so that's the opposite of what I'm describing, right? So it's out there within our union, which means it's possible for us to achieve. And we'll get there. We'll get it figured out. What you have going on, everything that you've got going on, so many ways for you to plug in and get involved in union activity. In actually, what is the power of unions, which is collective activity? It's taking the power of your union. There's a bunch of you guys that all are brothers and sisters under the same banner, and you're in all these different areas forming a caucus, which is a group of people that can help push things like educating your membership, like supporting agendas and policies that are beneficial to you as working people, or whatever the group is. You can pick your group. I mean, make it. Your union should be supporting whatever kind of member caucus wants to form for whatever reason. Like, I mean, there should be book clubs, there should be sporting event, there should be all kinds of that kind of stuff, because ultimately at the end of the day, what we have as union members is the power to withhold our labor collectively. And that's the promise, right? And if we don't have the strength to know that, like, when I walk out, Eric, Gabrielle's going to be walking out with me, we have nothing. And I think we're living through right now where, like, we've seen things happen politically and in the country where all of a sudden union contracts don't matter, or all of a sudden, TSA agents aren't in unions anymore, or no federal employees are in unions anymore. And if that stuff can be waved away, like, so too can your contract. So withholding your labor is the only thing that can't be taken away from you until you've been fully roboticized and replaced by a robot. But those times are not now. So what can we do as working people to keep building this kind of solidarity? What suggestions do you have? You're involved in a lot of different aspects in your union. What suggestions do you have for us to take to our union leadership to kind of try to move in this direction?
I'm not gonna lie, like, honestly, I feel like community involvement is also a big part of it. Not just being, speaking to other locals within your union, but if you have the support of the everyday people that doesn't know what you're doing, that doesn't know what you're about, you choose to have that community involvement. So I would say do some fundraisers. You get what I'm saying? Just to let people know, hey, this is who we are. This is how we help you and your family out on a day-to-day. So you could play it. I mean, it sounds like with the union structure you guys have, there's not that much push to educate the membership and to help you guys to really learn what's going on. But you could spin it and say, hey, this brings eyes on us, and this is like, the good parts of us, and say, and you can have your own little agenda in there with basically letting the community know, hey, this is who we are. So if for some reason the rank and file does want to want to move against the employer, they'll be right there like, hey, no, like we stand with them, come and stand the line with y'all too. You get what I'm saying? So, and when I drive around and I see picket signs, I'm instantly stopping. I feel like solidarity across all boards, no matter if you're like me in the maritime industry, in the industrial industry, working with kids, it doesn't matter what it is. Even if you're not in a union, you get what I'm saying? We're all workers at the end of the day. So I would say I would probably spin it to make it, look good and be like, hey, we want to have some outreach, let's teach the community about what it is that we do. And then in turn, you know what I'm saying, you'll build that solidarity across the board in your community so that they can show up for you when it's needed.
I think that's huge. I mean, your strike doesn't work if customers, like especially for us in retail, same thing, Starbucks, whatever industry, like if you're in the service industry, customers crossing the line nullifies your strike, right? So we can't have it. And that's huge. There's a lot of ways you can participate. Everybody's flying their UFCW colors out there, so they know it's who we are. We're part of the union. We're out here in the community. We're doing these positive things. We're volunteering time, maybe cleaning up down at the river, whatever the case may be, and building that solidarity with the community. So when our time comes to need their support, they're there to back us up. Like you said, union members kind of default give each other support. Like, I don't, if you're another union member and you're on strike, I don't even need to know. Like, I'll see you later, right? Like, no more information. But for those working people that aren't in unions, like, it is a good reminder that, like, unions help you too. Actually, your wages would be less if it weren't for unions. And like, let's not forget, right? Like, in this system of capitalism where they're trying to reduce the cost as much as they can, wages of $0 an hour is the preferable wage to pay. Like, ideally they will pay $0 an hour for our labor, and they will always be working to get it back to that. And it's our job as union members to stand in front of everybody else, the entire working class, and say no. And if you tell us that, we're going to stop working. And you might think that you and even in your union and your trade alone, especially as we continue to get automated out of existence, and our industries as a whole become less able to stop the economy by themselves, cross-union solidarity is important there, because maybe there's only half as many grocery stores as they used to be, so they can get around it. Or Amazon Teamsters go on strike, but they've got a million other warehouses, so they circumvent it. Well, when all the Teamsters stop driving, when we stop shopping at Amazon, when all the other stores stop ordering from Amazon, or private people stop ordering, that's where we can counterbalance that. And then the race is always going to be on, right? So it's always going to be us against them. The companies are never there to help us. And if your union isn't helping you, I think that's part of what we struggle with, is that we have basically two companies. Like, so we have the company we work for, and then we have the union that we also work for, and it just takes our dues away. And I think that resonates with a lot of people out there. I think hearing from you about the experience that you have in your union, I think you and everybody in your union has something that they should be very proud of. Obviously, the historical context with the general strike is huge, but even what you're doing now in 2025, to build upon like that and not let that go, not let that get away, stay strong, be strong, continue to build strength. My union used to be badass and strong and tough too. And we used to hide bodies, and now we don't, dude. We don't do anything cool. We don't do any of the cool stuff. I want some of that Teamster energy.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Just so elated coming from that conference. And I came back to my hall. I'm like, y'all, we need to be a part of this. I'm so thankful too. It was their first one. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was part of their first one. So now we get to see them build from that point, Yeah. They said they had their big one in Chicago, and it really reminds me of Labor Notes too, because I went to one in Southern California a couple years back. Then I went to their big one that was in Chicago. And then we had one in Oakland as well. So they have smaller ones. And then we have another one that's coming up in Oakland, same spot. It's going to be at Tech High School out here in Oakland, California. But yeah, so the way that they're doing it as well, and they had some information from Labor Notes as well. The way that they're choosing to do it, to me, makes so much sense for the people that aren't able to go to Chicago. They're hosting other meetings so that everybody gets this needed information. And that's how you inoculate people. That's how you get people to be educated, actually wanting to know more, wanting to be a part of. So yeah, I think it's beyond amazing.
These radicalizing moments have to happen in your workplace. For people, for me, it's come to the union meeting and you'll see what I'm saying. And as soon as you leave, you'll be like, oh my God, I have to get involved. That was atrocious. I can sit here and tell you all day, but until we've go this relationship where you just no, I'm not talking shit. I'm telling you exactly what I experienced for myself. Go there for yourself. Go see for yourself. Go look. Go ahead and bang your head against this for 6 months if you want. You'll come to the same conclusion that I came to. But we can get involved. Labor Notes exists, TDU exists, education is out there. Labor Notes is huge. I'll see you in Oakland. That's awesome. I'm excited about that, and we're gonna bring as many people down as we can to get that information. Because like what you said about inoculation, that's what it is. Like when you go and hear this message and you start to hear this stuff, first of all, a couple things happen.
Yep.
You think you live in a vacuum. You think that everything that's happening to you is unique to you because you're like a special snowflake. So like your experience in your workplace is like, that's just you. Go to Labor Notes, go to TDU, and hear everybody telling the same horror stories. When you start to tell your story, you see just heads all around the room are like, yup. Difference is people in that room are on the other side of that fight. Like that was like, oh yeah, that was us 15 years ago. And then we did this, and this, step by step, and then this happened, and this happened. And then the bosses said this, but then we did this. It's mind-blowing. First of all, it's like you're just like, yes, dude, I found it. The holy grail.
It can be done.
Yes, dude. Yes, it can be done. And then you have to start questioning, like, and this is unique to, and it's not unique to my locals. So this is most people's experience. Most people's experience is not what you have. Most people's experience is what I have in their unions. They're this way. The model that my union local runs under is the standard. You're the exception. Teamster Reform's the exception. Big time, dude. There's other ones out there, but specifically in the UFCW, aside from those 5 locals, most of them operate this way. When you come out of TDU or you come out of Labor Notes or you come off of one of those workshops, you start to be like super, like, why aren't they telling us this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't they putting any effort into this kind of education? And
you know what? I was thinking, like, with you saying that, people are people, right? And some people have their own agenda. So when you think about the union, right, you're supposed to be thinking about unity, bringing everybody together, the we, not the I. But something that I've realized, people are looking at it to gain power, right? They want, hey, I'm the one that did this, you're not. There's no way any of that should be being said within a union. It's all about us. It's all about what we do, not what you did, not what you're doing. It's what we're doing as a collective. So when people choose to get in these positions, and I cannot wait for the day when you guys' executive board, all the staff is rank and file. That's what I want. I'm surprised. Like that's gonna be what it's supposed to be. Or when they change, the structure, the union structure, to be more union focused, about the membership. What the membership says is what it needs to be. It should be not top down, it should be bottom up.
Yeah.
That's personally, I'm so thankful that I am entering into a union that gave me that knowledge so that I can go ahead and tell other people and go ahead and, share that education. Yeah. It feels like the union is kind of like, how am I trying to say this? I'm thinking about the Bible a little bit, is our standard for the working class. Yeah. But it's kind of like everyone's union is different. So if we can get on the same page with just realizing, hey, all of our interests should be what the union is, then we're going to be good, Yeah. Not about Eric, not about Gabrielle. What we want as individuals is what the membership wants as a collective, and pushing that forward.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of individualism, and that needs to go away. That's what when we talk to people in At What Cost and people that come to this group, a lot of people, and I blame society for this. Like you can say Mr. Beast and social media all the way up to like who our current president is. When you make celebrities out of individuals, when you make single individual people into like godlike status, like nothing Mr. Beast could do is wrong. Like there's a problem. First of all, I don't give a fuck what Mr. Beast thinks about anything. anything, politics, anything. He wants to make a YouTube video, cool. He wants to tell me about climate change, not interested. I want to hear from a climate scientist for that kind of thing. I want experts in their field, not individual people for whatever reason. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. I don't care what Elon Musk thinks about stuff that about anything specifically, because what has he ever thought of that's an original thought? But don't idolize individual people. Union Jesus, Union Moses is not coming to save you. You are not going to wake up with somebody wearing all of your Union gear that splits the corporate Red Seas and is like, follow me to the national contract promised land. It will take the rank and file unifying like we're doing on this call, locking in together, forming bonds across unions, across states, across locals, and standing together, like you said, in unity as one. Like, is this a working class issue? Yes, it is. Does it help or hurt the working class? It hurts them. I'm against it. It helps them. I'm for it. Now. And beyond that, I don't care. Yep. Left, right, upside down, inside out, don't care. Does it help working people? I'm for it. Does it hurt working people? I'm against it. And until we rebalance the scale, until we get it back to right where we have dignity in our lives, there you go. Our 40 hours of work returns us a access to housing, healthcare, education, retirement, vacation, then it's over, right? We're still fighting. But this is empowering. These conversations are empowering. This one's been running for 40 minutes, so I promised you 30. You've kicked it for an extra 10. So thank you very much. So we can wrap it up, but I just wanted to say that I love that we had the opportunity to have this conversation. I would love for you to take a message back to your union siblings, your brothers and sisters back at the shop. Let them know that without even knowing it, what they are doing in their union, the pride that they take in their union, the ownership that they obviously take in their union, the stewardship of the new generation by letting the scrub C come in the bottom and do all this sick union activity and gain all this union knowledge as an alternative to getting the work. Like, look at that. Look at the path that they're paving, not just for you, but for any working people that want to get involved in the ILW. Shout out to you guys. You have something to be proud of. You have something that you should be standing on tall and proud, and take pride in your union. Protect it, because it can disappear super quick. So thank you to all of them. Tell them all they're badasses. We're watching. The labor movement's watching. Working people are watching. And you're an inspiration. Do you have anything to say before we wrap this up?
I would like to say thank you again. I know I've said it plenty of times before, but to me, the way that you guys choose to operate, right? What you're choosing to unionize on your own without the support of your union, to me, from the rank and file, is beyond commendable. I'm like in awe, because again, it takes us to make the union, to make each other strong, to go ahead and say all those things that you just said. You know, we need a living wage. We need to make sure that we can get housing. We need to make sure we have vacation. You know, it's what's needed. So solidarity across the board. I'm extremely thankful to be able to have this opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much. This was a great 40 minutes. I mean, we could keep talking, you know. That's what unionizing is. It's like kind of, it never stops, and then we go to finding solutions, you know. So can't wait to see you at Labor Notes. Thank you so much, and the fight continues.
Yep, good talking to you. We'll keep it going. Thank you for joining, and we'll circle back. We can do it in a couple months and touch base and just see what we've got going on and talk. If any of your coworkers want to do something like this, just let me know. Start spreading the word.
I have a ton of people in mind. Let's
connect. I think there's a lot of power to it.
Okay.
And you know, once this is up, I'll send you the link. Share it with your coworkers so they can see what this is all about, and let's just keep building solidarity. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I got to meet you. Can't wait to see you in a month.
Yay.
We'll talk soon.
All right.
Later.
Speak soon. Bye.
All right. That was that, folks. That was Gabrielle from the ILW. That was an awesome conversation, I will say. I'm glad to have got to meet her down in Stockton. Knew instantly from her energy that I wanted to have a conversation with her more about unions. I'm glad. I had no idea she was that involved in all of those activities, all of those committees and things that are going on. For me, that was the biggest eye opener and something that I want to ask about at the next membership meeting that we're going to tomorrow, which is, how can we get some of that stuff started? What does it take to get it going, and how can we help? We need committees like that, especially I think an education committee would be really helpful for us, and just teach basic unionism to each other at the ground level. That's where we need to start in my local specifically. So let's see what we can do. But shout out to Gabrielle. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Worker to Worker. If anybody out there listening would like to have a conversation with me about their local, their union, their job, their state, it would be awesome to get to meet you and talk to you. I'm Eric from UFCW Local 8, Safeway Albertsons. This is At What Cost, and we're just out here trying to build a stronger union for ourselves, for everybody else out there, and hopefully help move the labor movement in a positive direction. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you made it this far, thank you. Have a good one. Peace.